All right, what is up, everybody? Hope you're doing great, having a great day. This is a wonderful summer day from Nashville, Tennessee. Just wanted to do a video today. I'm going to be building a strategy live. We'll see how far I get. I just kind of will go over some general things that I look for and how I generally start building strategies. And we'll just see. I have no idea what I'm going to be building on, but I think I'll probably try a few different things. I'll try a stock and then I'll try a crypto or something like that. Before we jump in, though, wanted to look really fast at the Discord. Things are changing a little bit. I'm going to be updating things with more strategies soon, more indicators, all that stuff as they are updated and released. But yeah, so we have your general, obviously, if you are part of the Discord, you have your general, what's it called, channels and all that stuff here. And there is a channel for the 25 longest standing members called 25 OGs only. Those are the longest, like I said a minute ago, the longest standing members. So if you've been around long enough, eventually you probably will get added to this as members maybe drop out or lose their spot. So if you have been consistently subscribed for a long time, like I said, eventually you'll probably get added to that. There's a couple exclusive strategies in there, and there's also, the users generally get access to some of the tools a little bit sooner. I'll release them to the 25 OG channel before I release them public, just as they're kind of in the building and testing phase. And then you also got your master builders. So that's a channel for people who have purchased lifelong subscription to the bumper bands. If you have been thinking about doing that and not done it yet, now may be a good time because the price will rise pretty soon as I'm building all of these new tools. The value of the bumper bands is going up, just getting better strategies, better tools. And so if you get locked into either a lifelong or a tier of like a subscription tier, you'll be locked in for as long as you're subscribed. So again, the master builders get early access and another few exclusive strategies and stuff like that. So that's just something to consider. In the long and the short crypto, I've updated. So I just added this short strategy here built with the AI Max. Then I've added a few long strategies with the Max and a couple with the light version. Yeah, those are, for anyone that is not seen them yet, going to be probably the best strategies built so far. Again, we'll see how they hold up. But yeah, pretty exciting stuff. I want to look at them real fast as we jump in here to building a new strategy. So we have 3 different versions. We got the 2 light strategies here, one for Bitcoin, one for SUI, and then we have 3 different ones with the max for Bitcoin. And all of them will have a different amount of total trades, different profit factor. They all will generally be pretty profitable if you look, over time. They are all, yeah, pretty decent. Some of them will be better in certain markets and again, higher profit factors. So if you have higher fees, you may be looking at one that has a little bit less total trades but higher profit factor or so on. I think this one has the most trades, so this will trade the most often, but has a bit lower profit factor. I mean, still an incredible profit factor for the fees being 0.06, which is your standard fees, but you could even double that and it still would be decently profitable, which is what I kind of aim for. So yeah, it's been good the last couple trades here. I've been winner trades. You can see on this version had actually a little loss there, but then a winning trade, and this one right here had kind of the same thing. So again, there'll be a few small differences in the trades they take because they're built differently. They have different settings in the support layers and in all of the stuff there. So just something to kind of take a look at and decide if you want to start with any of these as a template, update them. I will say I would really recommend putting a stop loss in, a better stop loss in. I don't think I've had the emergency risk enabled. A stop loss will make it a little bit worse, especially when Bitcoin was really volatile back before 2018. If you're being, don't want to be very risky at all, you could leave it at 3.3. If you want to be a little bit more risky, you could put it at 5. If you want to be, really wide risk, you can put it at 8.6 or 9 or something like that. But as I'm running any personal strategies, I do have at least some kind of max stop loss, even if it's super wide, like 8.6 or 9. That way, if there's like a black swan event, I'm protected. And the downside to that is every once in a while you might have a crazy volatile move that loses because it hits the max stop loss where it would have bounced back and recovered. So these are just the trade-offs that over time you have to decide what you want to be doing. But okay, let's jump into actually building strategy. So the first thing I do when I build a strategy is I add the skeleton key external. That's what I'm sure all of you are familiar with that. Crown's and Agent Smith's tool to build strategies. I have this weekday signal because I like taking out Thursdays and Sundays, but I don't generally like taking out the whole day because I found that generally these settings right here, at least for crypto or Bitcoin specifically, are a little bit more helpful than taking out the full Thursday and the full Sunday. If I am taking out a full day, I'll take out the full Sunday and I might leave Thursday in. The thing is, over time, I found that different days will be different, like better or worse in certain periods of the market. But there's really the one standard is Sundays are always generally over the long term not great to trade, at least again in my experience. And Thursdays are iffy, so I only take out part of the days. But as I build strategies, a lot of times I won't build them with Thursdays off. I'll actually build them only with Sundays off, so that way I'm getting at least the data from Thursdays, and then I can still choose to take it out later. It's actually kind of good, in my opinion, to build a strategy that has maybe some worse trades in there so that you can kind of almost prepare for the worst. All right, let's jump into building. So I'm going to build with the light version for right now, just because I want to make a pretty fast video. If I'm building with the max version, one of the first things I will do is I'll go through and I will look at the support layers and just change little things at a time in each one. Again, I might do a live video sometime where I actually build a full strategy top to bottom. It'll probably be a very long, like hours and hours long, because that's usually how long it takes me. I might even do it in sections. But for right now, let's just jump in with the light version. So what I'm going to do, open up the skeleton key, and I made it super simple now. If you want to trade by just support flags, it's a little bit faster than going down and putting in the close less than, where is that? Close less than support bumper. So at the very beginning, support flags and support bumpers and resistant flag and resistant bumpers are going to be exactly the same. So the support flags will trigger anytime. Let me make sure actually that's true. Oh, I do have the trend enabled. So if you disable the filters here, you'll see a flag now. I'm going to go ahead and disable that just to start. Now you'll see a flag, even with that enabled, you'll see a flag anytime it closes under support, anytime it closes over resistance. So you can see here we have a lot of flags being printed because it does break the bands fairly often. And so usually you can see the first flag is not the most ideal place to get into a trade. You can see this one, it would be a much better place if we would have gotten in one of the last few, or even way down here. So the goal is to start with that and then to try to slowly make the strategy better. So let's do the light support flag and light resistance flag. I'm just going to put that equal to 1 for entry and equal to 1 for exit. So whenever a resistance flag plots, and it exits. Whenever a support flag plots, it enters. And again, I'm going to go down here, and actually I'm going to start with taking off. And you can see off the very top, it's not like a super profitable strategy, but it's also like not garbage, which is, and again, with the fees being 0.6, not too bad. If you have fees at like 0.2 or 1, that would be super nice. I don't know if anyone does, but you could get a pretty incredible strategy right off the bat with that. I'm just gonna, yeah, you can see the strategy becomes very profitable if you don't have fees. So, for those who might be trading on some kind of prop thing or something that doesn't have bad fees or has real good fees, you might be able to get away with a lot more. But we're going to put the fees back to reasonable. And I'm going to put the weekday, where's the weekday filter here? And I think it's equal to 0, less than 1, equal to 0, whatever. That's going to be the same thing, because we want when it plots as 0, meaning it's not a excluded weekday, we're going to take it out. Going to have it enter when it's not a Thursday or Sunday. And actually, I'm going to leave, let me see which is which. I'm going to leave Thursdays. So the enter is Thursday. And say I'm gonna leave this off right now. I'm actually curious. That should have changed it. Let me look back here real fast. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, so Thursdays definitely help. That's actually kind of funny. I'm gonna take Sundays off for a second, just see what that deal is there. I wonder if that's actually making it worse. So I might leave. Yeah, it is making it worse. I might leave the weekday filters off completely for now. That's actually kind of interesting. I'll just leave them both out for now. Okay, so we're gonna start with that and maybe putting in some risk. I usually start with at least maybe the standard risk right here. 15. I actually find that like 20, 21 and 15 may be a little bit better just to start with. Just so we have, some risk enabled from the beginning, because it's kind of hard to build. Oh, that actually made it worse. Interesting. I might try 15 or 15. Not great either. Let me try 15, 21. I'm just kind of trying a few things here. Again, usually I will also be doing some deep back testing. So what I'll do is I'll hit save, and I'll duplicate this, and then I will do some deep back testing while I'm making the adjustments. So that looks like it's worse. So let's just do like 20. Let's do 25 and 25. And on this one, we're gonna do 25 and 13 or something like that. So we're gonna be comparing things a little bit. It's negative 14, and this is gonna be, we will see, negative 12. Okay, so 25, 13 is a little bit better. Let's do 27 and 15. Let's do 27 and 13. And then over here, I'll do 27 and 15. So the thing I'm trying to beat right now is negative 12%. Okay, so here we go. 27 and 13 is way better. Let's see if this is better. And again, I'll kind of be doing, I'm not doing it right now because I don't have the time, but what I'll do is I'll click deep back test and go to like 2016, 2018, 2015, somewhere like that. We'll do 2018 right now, and just make sure that the near term matches the, okay, so 25 and 15 is also pretty decent. Those are going to be actually probably pretty close, but let's go back to 2018 and deep back test both of these, kind of see what we got. And while that's deep back testing, I'm going to hit save, duplicate this again, and we're going to start working on some other stuff while those are deep back testing. Okay, the other thing I'm going to look at is going to the light. I'm going to get rid of the max right now because we don't even need that on the chart. I would start messing around with the reliability AI and or the midline and support confirmation. We'll look at those in just a minute. Okay, so not super great. This one's even worse. So this one is the better of the two. So I'm going to just get rid of that one, not save it. And I already saved this one. So we know right now this one is the better of the two. And I'm going to turn on, maybe before I mess with reliability, I'll turn on the validation section here and hit generate report. We'll see how that goes. And actually, before I get too far into building off of the Bitcoin index, I'm going to look at a few other things and kind of look at building on other, maybe I'll build the Solana. That actually might be nice. Or what other coin right now is doing well? I think Sol has kind of had its time. Maybe we'll do, I already did a Sui one over here. Maybe I'll look at XRP. That actually might be a interesting one to build on. So, okay, so we can see that adding the midline, and did I add support? Yeah, midline and support validation. It's not very profitable, but it's way better than it was over here, with being like crazy, awful drawdown, and just not a good strategy at all so far. So what I'm going to do is, this one's better. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to get rid of that one. All right, so that's at least a starting place. We would have to do, I would want to do a lot more work with some of this stuff in here if I was going to continue to build on Bitcoin, but I don't actually want to because we already have plenty of Bitcoin strategies on the 30-minute time frame. So let's go to XRP, and what I think Bybit probably has a lot of history. I generally build off of Bybit or something with a decent amount decent amount of history. I'll just go ahead and go to Bybit for now. I'm actually gonna hit save, duplicate this, and then I'm gonna go to one other one just to kind of compare them. Go to Blowfin. All right, and you can see the strategy near term, pretty great. However, it's a lot of sideways, and then a massive run up and a lot more sideways. So this is not exactly what I want to see. I want to see kind of slow and steady growth over time. Blowfin is actually a lot better. I wonder, let's see, 1,000 trades. So it looks like the history. I wonder how far back I can go on each of these. Okay, so this only goes back to 2023. This one, let's see how far Bybit goes back. This one goes back to 2021. So I might build on Blowfin because I know more people are using that right now. So maybe I'll do that. I'm just gonna hit exit on Bybit. I'm gonna save this. So this is gonna be 30 AI XRP. Okay, so now we have our start to here. I'm just going to make this a new window and duplicate it a couple times as we build with this. Okay, so here we go. We have a general start. I actually do wonder if I'm going to take out these weekdays one at a time, and I'm going to enable Thursdays here. I'm going to actually save that again and exit these. So now that's on. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this one as it is. I'm going to backtest 2023. Actually, I think that is the full backtest history. Let's see, and then on this one, I'm going to enable both weekday filters and backtest. Actually, I'm curious. Yeah, okay. So it's, yeah, I don't get any more trades, which means trade 1, I can look in here. Trade 1 is 2023. So yeah, backtesting is kind of irrelevant. We don't have enough history. So I'm not going to backtest with that. And this one, I'm going to add just Sundays here. I'll leave off Thursdays and just add Sundays. We'll kind of see. Okay, so we got drawdown of 31, 216. So that's worse. Taking off both days is not helpful. Taking off just Sundays is helpful, which I kind of figured. Okay, so we're going to take off just Sundays. I'm going to go ahead and just hit save and get rid of these. And I find that it just keeps me a little bit more clean if I save the right one and then delete the other ones and then duplicate it real fast, so that way I know I'm working off the exact same settings. All right, so now we've taken off Sundays. The last thing we'll try real fast is taking off like the full day Sunday or something like that, just to see. So I'm going to start with 0. This is a full day. I'm just going to compare that to this chart right here. But we do already have our equity curve is looking a bit better up and to the right, and we haven't even messed with the settings in the light yet, so pretty great. All right, 224. Looking at my profit factor and all that stuff, it's about the same. So I'm just going to leave it. Where it was. Okay. All right. So now let's kind of look at making the strategy a little bit better. I'm going to look at the update frequency. I'll change it by 2 on this one, and I'll change update frequency by 2 over here. So I'm just looking at, changing it a couple on both of those and kind of compare it. Not much different. Not much different. How about we go to 1 and 1? Just curious. And then I'm going to undo that and go to 2 and 2. This probably won't be making huge differences. So I'll probably just keep it at default unless I really see something major jump out. And this whole section kind of all works together. So a lot of times I'll work on other things and I'll go back. Yeah, not much different. So I'm going to just hit cancel, which will reset it. Cancel, and then I'll open this back up again. And I'll go to confirmation bars, and I'll just go to 1 and 2 there. This one I'll go to 4 and 4. I'm just kind of looking if anything jumps out again. So that's not as good. So I'm going to undo that. I'm just going to go to 3. Okay, this is a little bit better drawdown and a little bit higher profit factor. So 4 and 4 seems to be a little bit better. Let's see with this one. Okay, so 3 and 2 is better. So I wonder if 3 and 4 will be a bit better. So this is kind of what I'm looking for. I found that 3 is better here. I found on this side that 4 was a little bit better. So then I combine them and see which one beats the other one out. 69. Okay, so this one is a bit better. So I'm just going to hit save here on this one. So this is now my, kind of the one I'm building from, and I'm going to exit, close without saving, and duplicate this. Okay, so now I'm working from the updated, the best one that I had here. You can see that we have a lot of sideways here, and I do wonder if before I get too far into building, I do want to get the risk a little bit better, or at least see if this is the risk is correct. So let's say that was my default. I'm going to mess with the risk over here. I'll try 27 and 11, and then I'll try something else over here, like 23 or something maybe. 23. And just kind of see if any of those look a little better. 270, so that one's a little bit better. Yeah, it's a bit better. Not a whole lot different, though. Okay, so it looks like 27 and 11 is better. So how about we go to 25 and 11? And I'm going to make that one... I move it to the left because I make that the best. I like keeping the one on the left that is the best. And then eventually, once I've locked it in, I'll save it and I'll reset. Okay, so what did I do here? Let's try 27 and 9. I actually don't remember. This is 27 and 11. Okay, so 25 and 11 is not good. I'll try 29 and 11. Okay, that's not better. I'm just going to get rid of that because that's not the direction I want to go. Okay, so get rid of both of these, and I'm going to hit save. The risk is a little bit better. Next I'm going to look at adding is a percent risk. This probably won't be a good time to add percent risk, but I'm just going to try. I'll try just 5, and I'll try... maybe I'll try like 4. Just going to see where we're at with that. I'm going to go ahead just make a couple more because I want to move a little faster. And I'll try a limit risk here. So yeah, this is when I'm building a strategy. This is kind of things I'm looking at. I'm kind of trying a couple different options, and I am doing deep backtesting. This strategy or this asset doesn't have any more history, so deep backtest wouldn't help me. But okay, that's not any better, but it is safer. So it's not it's not the worst thing in the world. Let's look at these here. 236, 205. So we know that 4 isn't great. Just go up to 6 here. What is this at 5? I don't like the equity curve of this one right here. It does not look super great. This one actually does look better. So limit stop loss at 5% looks better. So let's try limit stop loss at like 6%. And yeah, max drawdown is way better. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here, something like that. Nope. Okay, so 6% is pretty decent. So I'll put that over here. 16, and I'm looking at 20. Okay, so this one's way better. So max stop loss at 6% at a limit is good. I'll try like 6.5, and I'll put that on limit. Last things to try here is I'll try like 7, and I'll try like 5.8 or something. I don't know. Looks like the limit is generally better across the board, so that's kind of what I'm going to. Okay, so this one's already beating now our standard without risk, which is great. It has a better drawdown. Now, 7% stop loss is pretty big. Obviously, altcoins are pretty volatile, and so that extra room to run is helpful, but it does mean losses will hurt more. 6.5 is actually a bit better even, so that's kind of what we'll start with. Yeah. All right. So it looks like 6.5 is the winner, has the best drawdown, the best profit factor, all of these things. So I'm going to hit save, And I'm going to get rid of all of this other stuff. Okay. So now we have a strategy. Sometimes I'll wait a little bit longer to add this percent max stop loss. It does, you know, especially if I'm deep back testing and looking at a lot of history, because the hardest thing to get congruent over a long period of time is a max percent stop loss, because as assets change and get more volatile, less volatile, the max stop loss percent will need to change with it. I haven't found a great solution. I've tried some interesting things, building tools to look at volatility and stuff, but haven't found anything yet. So maybe in the future I will. But as of right now, looks like we have a pretty great strategy right off the bat. Obviously, lots of sideways in this period. Let's kind of look what was going on. You can see that buy and hold obviously is beating it now, but the volatility is way, way better. So the reason, like if you would have started trading or buy and holding anywhere over here, you would be in the red right now. But if you would have started trading the strategy anywhere over here, you'd be in the green. So this is where strategies kind of start coming in handy. If you don't, if you're not buying and holding during like a period of where the market has been down. So to me, it's like I only buy and hold when the market's been down for about a year, and I know that we've been through a bear market or in the middle of a bear market. That's when I'll start kind of scaling into my buy and holds. But if I want to be trading, you know, it's obviously very risky to start buying and holding at any point after you've had some decent upside moves. So that's kind of the philosophy. Okay, so we've saved this. We have a generally working strategy here. Now we're going to jump into looking at a couple other things here real fast. I'm going to duplicate this, and we'll start comparing. We've looked at confirmation bars. This is probably going to be pretty good as it is, but I'll just really fast look at the threshold. What did I go to over here? I forgot. I went to relaxed, and I want to go to tight. Okay, so now I'm 315. Actually, that is a little bit better. So relaxed is a little better. I'm going to put that over here, and I'm going to try wide just to see. Yeah, so far relaxed is better, and then I'm going to try relaxed on this one. So now I'm looking at comparing these two. Yeah, so relaxed is best. And then I tried wide there, or I tried standard. Okay, so I'm kind of trying all of the combinations right here. So relaxed and wide, and relaxed and relaxed. Okay, so relaxed and wide seems to be the best. So I'm going to put that over there, hit save. And this is, you know, if I was building with the max tool, I would, obviously the light tool just gives you a few drop-down menus that are really fast to build with. I might kind of mess with a few other options here, but I'm just trying to build fairly fast right now. So we're doing that. Now let's try our confidence level, kind of look at a couple different options here. So I'll be comparing -1 to +1. And we're trying to beat 317 and kind of making sure our drawdown doesn't get worse. 308, so it did get worse. Let's look at this one. Drawdown got better. Okay, so going to +1 helped out. Let's go to +2. Oops, +2, there we go. So we know that one's a little better, so I'm just going to drag it over here and hit save. 317. Oops, I think I did that on the wrong one. Did I? Okay, wait, what is this? I don't know what happened here, actually. Our net profit is a little bit lower, but let's look at profit factor. Okay, actually, looks like neutral is better because our profit factors, the drawdown doesn't hardly change, and the profit factor is definitely better. So we're going to keep it at neutral. Yeah, we're going to keep this one at neutral, and then we're going to mess with this being at like +2. And we'll go down to neutral here. And sometimes if you're trying to build from different angles, I might go in another day and say I built an XRP strategy. I'll start, oh, that's actually way better. Okay, our drawdown's better. I might start by, it really depends your order of operation. So if I start by adjusting confidence level first, I will maybe come up with different other settings here. So that's something else to think about, and that's why I build lots of different strategies on different days, trying different orders of operation just to kind of see what the best approach is. But right now we got our profit factors. Okay, it's not quite as good. but our drawdown is better and our total P&L is better. I kind of want to look at the equity curve. This is another way that I make decisions. It just through different kind of, I generally want the chart to be going up and to the right more than not, and so I'll kind of compare the equity curve. So it looks like this one has a bit of downside, worse downside right there, and this one has more chop. It kind of goes sideways a little bit more, which is good, because I'm thinking if I'm trading the strategy, it's easier to stay into trading a strategy if it chops sideways than if it has, you know, some downside. Like it's just a mental thing. So this is why I would rather trade a little bit worse of profit factor for a strategy that generally goes up and to the right more often. So we're just going to hit save on that, and then we're going to check out what was the setting here that we put it at. Was it neutral? Oh, we got +1 in neutral. That's interesting. I'm going to do neutral and neutral. And then we'll try this just to see what we get going. Okay, so this one is better. Let's kind of again compare these equity curves. This equity curve is 1.48. Okay, so this one's definitely better, which is neutral and neutral. Okay, so I'm just going to make that my default now. I'll go ahead and look at this, and this one was -1, just to check it out, kind of see. You know what? This is not bad. Let me kind of compare these equity curves real fast. Now this is where it'd be really helpful if I had a bit more deep backtest data, because that would help me out a lot here, but I don't. So these are both pretty similar. I do actually like this one a little bit better. So I'm probably going to go with this, and I might come back later and just change that back to neutral and see. I'll kind of take a mental note of that, or might write it down. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to save it, duplicate it again, and keep moving on from here. We already had these test enabled. Oh yeah, support band. I'm just going to really fast. Actually, I know that generally the support band set to 0 is better. I might just go ahead and try it. I have not found a strategy yet where changing the support band first setting actually helps, but we'll see. Yeah, this one made it worse, going to tight, so I'm just going to go back to neutral, and I'll try a different couple things here. 311. Okay, it did make the profit factor go up, and it makes this way more interesting. It makes the equity curve way better. Again, this is where I wish I had a little bit more backtest. Interesting. I don't know about that. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So tight was not the right way. I'm going to go wide. Let's see. Our drawdown's a little bit worse. We have less trades. Sometimes the other thing I kind of keep track of is I don't want to filter out too many trades too soon, because then I won't be able to use other tools to helpfully filter out trades later on. So I'm kind of comparing all these things. The profit factor is not much different either. Okay, so it looks like neutral and wide is pretty good. So I might try this one, 483. Okay, so this one's definitely better. So this is going to become my default. It's neutral and wide. The next thing I'm going to try is relaxed and wide, just to kind of see. Oops, I didn't mean to say that, but whatever. I'll hit save here. Okay, so getting rid of that one. So now I'm just going to compare these two and before we move on. Okay, so relaxed and wide is not better, even though I just want to compare my profit or my equity curve real fast. Okay, so this one has a lot more trades. Okay, I'll make a mental note and I'll come back later on and I will try, I'll maybe try to put this on relaxed once I've done a few other things. But for now, it looks like this one, wait a minute, let me make sure that's correct here. Yeah, this one has better number of trades. So I'm just gonna default to this for now. I'm gonna hit save, make sure that's the default that we start with. And now we'll keep moving. And we're going to go to very tight here and neutral there. Kind of see what we got. Okay, so this is definitely not worse, or definitely not better. So I'm going to go back to tight and just compare here. Definitely not better either. Okay, so it looks like our standard. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay, so now let's look at changing the second section here to normal and wide. All right, come on. 312, 321. Okay, so this one is a bit better. So normal, let's go to tight, I guess. We'll just try that as our last. Let's see, 1.49. Yeah, so this one definitely is better. Make sure the equity curve, equity curve is still looking good. Good number of trades. So I'm going to make this our standard, and then okay. So this is the one that we're going to build off of. Going to exit these and then duplicate this. All right. So now we've gotten through our reliability AI section. We're going to mess real fast just looking at some price source options here. I do know that generally low or a combination close and open sometimes will give you really extreme results. I'll try it just to see. And I generally, this can filter out like so many trades really fast, but we'll see what happens. So we put that one on open. I'm going to put this one on combination of low and close. So that's an average price of low and close. So we can see actually that's not so bad. It did take out a lot of trades, but the profit factor went way up. So this is a way to, if you want the profit factor to go up, I have found that generally putting that on open does make the profit factor go up now, and it does make the drawdown go up. However, it's a little bit less profitable, and it's kind of extreme. So low close looks actually really nice because it's 12 drawdown, whereas this was 14, and it still has 932 trades, where this one only has like 700. But I'm gonna try low close, which means it has it doubles the low price. It basically adds low plus close and divides them by 3. So it's the average of those 3, just to make it a little bit more. Yeah, so this is actually a little bit better, right? No, not quite. Okay, so low close was the best, so I'm going to put that one over here. And then we're going to try a couple other things. Open low, just to see. And on this one, we're going to try open low close. I don't know. We're just playing with things here. I'd try to not lean on this section too much, again, because it can filter out too many trades. But that one isn't so bad. So we'll see. We'll see what I decide. Let's see how many trades this has. 907. Okay, so open. Looks like open low close actually is really nice. I'll try open low, and just kind of look at our equity curve here. So that is pretty decent. I may come back to 341, 11, and 32. Again, I try not to lean on this too much. So 1.526, 1.54. So to me, my favorite so far, because I have 930 trades, I have a pretty good drawdown, is either this one or this one. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with this, and I'll come back to. I'm just gonna leave this one over here. I'm not gonna mess with it right now. I'm gonna come back to it later just to remember what I had. Okay, so I don't want that one, even though the net profit was a bit higher. I think it took too many trades away. Already we have like a pretty incredible looking equity curve. However, this section here did go sideways for quite a long period of time. So we'll see if we can do something to, help that out a little bit. Let me go ahead and duplicate this a couple times, and we'll look at our resistance. Or we looked at our midline, and we'll look at our support test. And the last thing, you know what? I probably should try that too. So I'll try that right now. So I'm gonna look at changing this to tight, and this to relaxed, just to see the difference here. Not a whole lot of difference. And just remember, this is low close. I might try this on So this is barely different. Yeah, these are barely different. I'm just going to put this on low close just to kind of see if we were to go back to this setting, what those do to our strategy. Here, 315, 13, it's not better. Okay, so this one is actually decent as well. Putting it on tight, it's 1.52. Yeah, it's still not that much better, so I'm gonna say nah. And then I will get rid of this one as well because it's not even better. What if that was tight? I actually might go to medium real fast. Okay, so while it's doing that, I'm going to just go here and duplicate this a couple more times. And we'll look at this setting here. We're just going to put this on low close as well. And we're going to put this one on low close. We'll just go through those real fast. Okay, so this I put on, this is the kind of one we're building from. Put that on medium, 78, 1.53. Let's kind of look at our equity curve here. Not bad, but yeah, I'm just going to get rid of that. It is a little bit better than our other one, but I'm not convinced that we should stick with that yet. Okay, let's go back here. That's definitely not better. This one is not any different. Just going to go ahead and try a couple other options here. I'm probably going to end up leaving this one on just low, but again, we'll see. We'll see what our 237. Okay, so again, yeah, you can see here, filtered out a lot of trades. However, equity curve is looking better, profit factor is looking decent, but to me, it just filters out way too many trades. Yeah, I don't love that. And this one filtered out even more trades. We could try to change this up to make it a little bit, more lenient, but I don't think this is probably going to be what I end up going with. Yeah, this isn't really going the direction I want it to. It's filtering out too many trades, though. This one, the equity curve definitely is the best. It's slow and steady to the right, but even here recently, I just don't think that's. Yeah, I don't think that's what I'm going to want to go with. So I'm just going to hit exit. Don't want to save that. Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, great profit factor, great, everything's awesome. It just has like hardly any trades that ever, over 2.5 years it has 100 trades. So not necessarily what we want. And the total P&L is just like 1/3 of it. So we're just gonna say nope and go back to here. And all right, so now we're into the filtering out. So this is actually adjusting the bands themselves, all of this section here. Now we're into the part that just filters out the flags based on the band's interaction with price. And I'm just going to put a threshold, so we're volatility, the bands are kind of keeping track of volatility. We're going to turn that on and just kind of see a couple different settings. What the... yeah, does that help it at all? Volatility is the one that I find it can make your profit factor higher, but it just makes it a little higher, but it doesn't really improve it. This one, wait, what did I do? Oh, I did the trend direction. I didn't mean to do that. Volatility, and I'm going to say, oh, did I, yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm going to put this source on close. I'll just try that, and then I'll put the source on high, just to try a couple things. And this is with it off. With it on, so far, it didn't impress me. Standard default settings. The equity curve is better. Profit factor is definitely better, right? Or no? No. Close. I'm just gonna try to change the threshold a couple things here. 326, 58. Okay, so this one is better. High. So putting it at high, and I'll also try to change this, and we'll see. So that did not help. $314 and 12. Yeah, okay, so let's just go down to 24. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one on a high and change it to 29. 322. So that's not better. I think 327 was the best. High 29. Interesting. So that's like almost identical. The profit factor is a little bit better. The drawdown, 67% profitable. Okay, so this one's better so far. Equity curve looks fine. So I'm gonna put this back on default. Gonna hit save just so I remember, and I'm just gonna actually get rid of these, just to kind of again start from something I know is correct, and we'll jump into editing the rest of this section. I'm just gonna try 15 and maybe 18 here. Now this is where you can get into really trying a lot of different combinations of settings. You could try low with a different combination of length and look back. This is where you can really take a long time. Today I'm just gonna kind of move fast, so I'm just gonna kind of take. So neither of these are better. Just gonna hit undo real fast, and then I'll try a couple different options here. And I'm kind of looking for a trend. If one of these is a little bit better, then I'll try going even lower or even higher. It depends on which one's better, if it is better. So 1.587, it's a little bit better. Profit factor, this one's definitely not. So maybe going down to 300 would be a little better. So it's 350. It's not like noticeably better. I'm kind of trying to find something that's noticeably better. This one is definitely not 5.7. Yeah, it kind of looks like 400 is really just the way to go. Last thing I'll try is put signal memory at 0 and 2. And again, if I was really wanting to dial in this strategy, I would probably try different combinations of the source and threshold with these, just to try to find some. Yeah, neither of those are any better. So I think kind of going back to I'm just gonna hit cancel to go back to the reset the settings, and then we'll add the last thing we're gonna add right now. I don't want to go in too deep on this. I'm just gonna try the long term on this one and the short term on this one, just to see what the differences are. But yeah, if anyone wants to keep working on this strategy, you're welcome to take what I just did in this video and work on the rest of it. The short trend did not help at all, so maybe I'll put it on expanding because it looked like contracting is not helpful. Long-term trend. It made the equity curve like fine, I guess, but again, I'll try just contracting. 225. I don't even remember what the other one was, but it's definitely not as good as it was. To me, this is filtering out way too much. Okay, well, expanding is better. I might try like majorly changing the length. Nah, this is not really 236, 283. So expanding is definitely better. I mean, maybe I'll try to like majorly change that. 235. What was it before? 225. I'll go all the way up to 19. It doesn't really look like these 297. So this one is helping a bit. The profit factor, the trend. Okay, so here's where I would just, if I was building the strategy, kind of make a judgment call. Do I prefer to have a little bit less P&L, better profit factor, better slow and steady gain over time? Not so bad. So I might even, hit save here. I want to see what this did. Nah. So it doesn't look like the short-term trend is helping much. So I'm going to just say get rid of that guy. And well, the last thing we'll do is just try to dial in the long-term trend and leave it at that. So I'm going to say I want to make these a little bit wider, the consolidation sensitivity wider, and we're trying to beat 297. And then on this one, I'll try changing like one or two other settings here. Maybe I'll take this all the way down to like 11. 308. Yeah. Okay. So this is decent. We'll 1.581. 1.581. So it's a little bit better drawdown. So it's like, to me though, it's not really actually helping the strategy that much. Maybe I'll try just like high and yeah, so 15, maybe I'll try, or 13 wasn't good. Maybe I'll try 15. 312, 1.6. So I think that is a bit better, right? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. So now we're comparing this one, which is without any long-term trend filter, to one with it. And it's not doing a whole lot. Like if I'm going to be adding this is again where deep back testing would be helpful. It's helping my profit factor a little bit, but it's not really. I mean, maybe I'll put my signal memory to like try a couple different things with that, but this isn't really doing a whole lot. Maybe I'll go up to 500 here. So it looks like our strategy is probably already pretty well dialed in. Yeah, that did not help. What did I do there? Maybe I'll put it up to 2 just to see. Maybe I'll take this down to like 200. I'm just trying really broad strokes. Okay, so that one did help out a bit, but the profit factor is worse, right? Yeah, not a whole lot. I kind of think it's almost just as good without that. I mean, the strategy over here is a pretty good strategy. There are some periods where it has some, downside, but it generally recovers from those pretty fast, and it does still have this one huge, part here where it makes a majority of the gains, but it does over time as XRP is, slowly going sideways. It is kind of slowly growing. So it's not a bad strategy at all. Yeah, for users that want to maybe dial in a little bit more, you can definitely go through and mess with that. I think that's probably though where we'll leave it off. Let me just go ahead and close this and close this one. And that's where we ended up. So again, pretty fast. I mean, what was this? Probably less than an hour, hopefully, for those of you who stuck through the video. And you can see as the trends, obviously there's a big loss here. Like this is a 6% loss, kind of nasty. But there are also some really nice gains here. In a couple trades, it had a 3% gain right there. Recently just had a 1.98, about 2% gain. So if you can withstand some big losses, not bad. The last thing I'd probably do to dial in this strategy more is work on my risk. And yeah, I don't love that these big losses, 6% losses, can happen. I've kind of hoped that. Oh, you know what? One other thing to look at that maybe would help with that is the smoothing down here at the bottom. If you want to try to get out of trades a little faster or into trades more often, you can turn the smoothing up. So we'll just try that real fast just to see if it helps us avoid some, because right here you can see that it almost closed above it, and I wish it would have, because then it would have gotten out of a trade. Yeah, it looks like that one smoothing didn't really help. You can try a couple different types of smoothing. Yeah, I just really wish that the strategy could get out of trades a little bit more. Okay, so that's a little better. The equity curve isn't a whole lot better, and maybe we'll try smoothing of 3. Before I save that, I'm going to do one other thing here. I'm going to look at the other thing that we didn't even look at, I guess, was oh, oops, I think I saved the wrong one. Oops, wait a minute, let me go back to here and undo it. Okay, so that's not being helpful. I'm going to put the smoothing back to where it was, EMA1, save. It looks like when I didn't actually save the right one. There we go. Okay. Now the right one's saved. But yeah, one section we didn't really look at was the resistance validation. it's mainly because I don't generally, this will make it harder a lot of times to get out of trades, and I don't generally want to do that. I actually want to make my strategies a little easier to get out of trades, but we could try something real fast here with turning it on, and like you can, putting it to the same kind of settings here. Might help the strategy. Yeah, I mean, I guess look at that. It definitely helped the strategy right there immediately. It does make so there's less trades, which means that it's staying in trades a little bit longer, but it's not bad. That might be something also you could mess with, changing that to like, I don't know, high close. All of these settings here might help you make a bit more refined strategy. But yeah, something to look at messing with. I'm gonna leave it off there for now, and yeah, hopefully this video was helpful for those who are building strategies. Another thing I didn't really get into today was looking at our our table right here. I think I did a short video on that the other day that hopefully is helpful. But man, there have been a lot of times where, as the wicks go under and the signal gets over the 100 percentile, they wouldn't be bad places to hand trade, as long as you can figure out a strategy for how you exit and working through that. So the table here is again a very powerful part of the tool that, as time goes on, probably will work on dialing in a little bit more and building some ideas around that. But all right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one.